Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy, and compassion of God, our moments also with the holy ones of God, the saints of God, and we will speak about one of them today, particularly by noting that in the Catholic Church there are variety of saints. You have martyrs, you have virgins, like yesterday we spoke about Saint Clare, who refused to get married and things like that. But all of that was possible because they were aware of what was happening within themselves and they wanted a change like you will find in today's saint. And I invite you also to please share the videos with others and ask your friends and families to subscribe to the channel, press the like button and write your comments below, because that helps the algorithms to go and make the video spread more widely. Thank you very much. Today, yes, as I said, the church celebrates the feast of Saint Jane Frances de Chantal, a French noblewoman who came from a very noble, rich family and was married at the age of 18, quite young, had 4 children, but when she was just 28, her husband was killed in a hunting accident. It so happened that the 2 friends went hunting, and the friend accidentally, thinking that he was shooting an animal, shot her husband, who then died instantly. And she was just 28. She was deeply in love with her husband and came from a noble family. She was very fond of all the jewels, the fine clothing, and living in style, etc. Of course, she was born in 1500 and I think it was 1580 or something like that. I'm not very sure, but yes, around the late 1500s. And after her husband's death, she was so bitter. She then went through depression and just did not know how to go about. And she was finding it also difficult to survive. Then, when she was having this difficulty, she moved into the house of her father-in-law. Her father-in-law was also a rich man. So it is said that both her father-in-law was not very kind to her, and also the house master of the father-in-law was very cruel to her. So she was struggling to bring up the children, to live with this depression of being widowed at a very young age of 28. But at the same time, she was looking for some inspiration, for some spiritual guidance. And in 1604, she went to Dijon, a place in France, to listen to a series of sermons from one bishop. This bishop was again another who eventually became a saint, Saint Francis de Sales. He was a wonderful holy man and used to advise people in their normal day-to-day life to live peacefully and to live spiritually. So when she went to him, he helped her first of all to forgive that man who accidentally had shot her husband. Now, this is a big lesson for all of us to remember, though this theme of forgiving others comes again and again and again in the gospel, including today's gospel. I will come to that. So Saint Francis de Sales helped her and advised her to forgive this man, because this does not bring anything to anybody when we really keep on thinking about what went wrong and simply living with that kind of thing. It doesn't help. It only brings more depression. The best thing is to try to come out of it. Of course, forgetting is different, but better is to find another purpose in life, to look for a better purpose or another purpose that can keep you occupied. Jesus in the gospel also says that today's gospel, when somebody sins against you, go to him and explain your thing and try to reconcile with him. When he doesn't listen to you, take 2 or 3 more people with you as witnesses and try to convince him. But when he doesn't listen to those 2 or 3, then go to the church. I am not saying go to confession or things like that, that is the best way, of course. But go to the church, meaning go to a bigger body where God's presence is kept more visibly, and try to talk to them and try to find a way. And then the gospel says that if he does not listen also to the church, then forget about him. Then treat him like a tax collector or somebody who is just to be ignored, who doesn't care for it. And rightly so. Just forget about him. And this, I think, is an important lesson, because many people I know suffer because somebody is not forgiving them, or somebody is not ready to listen to their side of the story. Years have passed and keep on passing, but they are not prepared to listen. So this is what happens. And Saint Jane Frances de Chantal went on finally to found a religious order for women, despite being a married woman. Unlike Saint Clare we saw yesterday, who was a virgin, she was married, had children, was widowed, but still she went on to be a founder of a congregation called Presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary, on the advice of Saint Frances de Sales. And within no time, in France alone, she founded 86 orders. And how she forgave her husband's murderer, that brought about all the change. Can you also forgive anybody who is in your life not wanting to reconcile with you, and you will see how spiritually you will grow. And my dear friends, if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.